It comes as little surprise to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leading the Premier League sack race once again after Manchester United's dismal exit from the Champions League. But the Norwegian will merely see it as just another day at the office, having been under intense pressure for most of his near 2 years in charge at Old Trafford. This is the fourth time Solskjaer and the sack have been widely mentioned in the same sentence, and, rather like his super sub playing days, he seems to prosper in the face of adversity. Just when all hope of him keeping his job at United seems to have drained away, they will embark on a winning run and the picture will completely change. After Tuesday night's 3-2 defeat to RB Leipzig, which condemned United to Europa League football after Christmas, Solskjaer desperately needs a response in Saturday's Manchester derby against City and more broadly over the packed festive schedule. We've been here before, however. December 2019. 9th in the Premier League after 2-2 draw with Aston Villa. Rewind almost exactly 9 months. And the honeymoon period Solskjaer enjoyed when he first took over from Jose Mourinho was but a distant memory. Things had started so wonderfully when Solskjaer was plucked from his job with Molde and installed as United's interim boss following the toxic break up with Mourinho in the wake of a loss at Liverpool. Solskjaer's liberated team won 10 of their first 11 matches and he was handed the job on a permanent basis following that miraculous comeback against Paris Saint-Germain. But everything immediately began to unravel from there, with United winning just 2 and losing 10 of the 12 games between that night and the end of the season. Premier League unless stated: Saturday Manchester City, H, December 17 Sheffield United, A, December 20th Leeds United, H, December 23rd Everton, A, Carabao Cup Quarter, Final. The 2019-20 season hadn't started very well either, and by the beginning of December, many were questioning whether Solskjaer was actually up to the job. Following a 2-2 home draw with newly promoted Aston Villa, United sat 9th in the table with only 18 points from their opening 14 league games. When Mourinho was sacked a year earlier, United had amassed 26 points from 17 games, so there was a strong case for saying things hadn't really progressed. That particular week had been a case in point. United had been blown apart in the first half of their game at Sheffield United, trailing 2-0, and were so bad Solskjaer admitted he wanted to substitute all 10 outfield players. United rallied to lead 3-2 but ended up drawing 3-3. A youthful team had then lost 2-1 to Kazakh Minas Astana in the Europa League, and the draw with Villa led to some fans at Old Trafford booing the team off. Ahead of a week that would see United play first Tottenham and then Manchester City, few carried much hope for Solskjaer even if the club's hierarchy insisted he had their backing. In his press conference to preview the Spurs game, Solskjaer dismissed the sack rumors as lies. And they shocked everybody by beating both Spurs and City 2-1 to give the manager some much-needed breathing space. If the victory over his predecessor Mourinho wasn't sweet enough, the win over Pep Guardiola's City combined superb counter-attacking football with resolute defense, effectively ending their rivals' title chances. January 2020, United jeered by their own fans after home loss to Burnley. Those big wins kept the Wolves from the door, but not for too long. By the end of January, following league losses to Watford, Arsenal and Liverpool, plus a home defeat to City in the EFL Cup semi-final, the pressure had mounted once again on Solskjaer. Doubly so when United were jeered off the field by their own supporters after Burnley claimed their first ever Premier League win at Old Trafford on January 22. The result left United trailing fourth placed Chelsea by 6 points in the race to qualify for the Champions League places. The lack of quality in United's squad had been exposed by the fact Solskjaer had turned to 18-year-old Mason Greenwood to cover for the injured Marcus Rashford. The transfer window was still open and United were crying out for reinforcements. "We hold our hands up, it is not good enough," Solskjaer said after the shock defeat. Doubts were growing again over whether he was able to restore United to trophy-winning strength, but the Burnley loss, or more specifically the £47 million signing of Bruno Fernandes 8 days later, proved a turning point. From the low of that defeat, United somehow embarked on a 19-match unbeaten run in all competitions, with Fernandes having a transformative effect on the team's performances. The run, which came either side of the 3-month COVID-19 shutdown, included 2 wins over Manchester City, a league success away at Chelsea, and progress in the Europa League. Ultimately, it helped propel United to a third-place finish in Champions League football, and though they would suffer disappointment in losing FA Cup and Europa League semi-finals, it ensured a satisfactory second season for Solskjaer. November 2020, Pochettino looms after shambolic loss to Istanbul Başakşehir. Solskjaer may have received a passing grade for last season, but the present one soon threw up another host of issues to resolve. A ridiculously short season turnaround, missed targets in the summer transfer market, a leaky defense, muddled midfield and horrendously inconsistent results to name but a few headaches. They lost at home to Crystal Palace in the season opener and were then humiliated 6-1 by Mourinho's Spurs. A mini-recovery, that included wins over PSG and Leipzig, steadied the ship, but Jekyll and Hyde United reverted to type with back-to-back losses to Arsenal and Istanbul Başakşehir in early November. The manner of the goals conceded in Istanbul, in a match where victory would have put United on the brink of reaching the Champions League last, 16, was truly shambolic. Knives were being sharpened again as former players turned pundits described United's defending as under-tense football. Meanwhile, Mauricio Pochettino, the man constantly linked with the United job, appeared on Sky's Monday Night Football and spoke of his desire to manage again in the Premier League. But just as many had written Solskjaer off, his team rebounded with 4 consecutive wins over Everton, West Brom, Başakşehir and Southampton either side of the international break. All the talk of successors briefly went away, but, as they say, you're only a game away from a crisis. At United and their dismal Champions League exit, when they required just a point from 2 games, leaves Solskjaer with his back to the wall once again. It's also true that an opportunity for redemption is never too far away. And, after all, United are only 5 points off the top of the table with a game in hand. After hosting City on Saturday, they face a trip to Sheffield United next week, a home game with Leeds and a Carabao Cup quarter-final at Everton, all before Christmas. It could yet be a merry one for the United manager.